communicate to your class members. It's our vision that we sort of filter through you the information and you can disperse it out. Rather than sending mass emails to everyone, it's a little more personal if the class presidents can disseminate this information. Not all of the assignments are going to be sort of global in nature. Sometimes they will be regional. For example, those of you in the Salt Lake area, we are going to be having you announce a speed networking event that we're kind of excited about. We've decided to treat job networking like speed dating, and so we're going to be putting together a speed networking event where law students can come and spend the 2 minutes until the bell rings talking to professionals and people in the different law firms and alumni, and then circulating around, and it gets them to at least know some people. It gets you to know the students. It may be, I'm not sure we have the dates on that yet, but that's one of the things that may be just regional, and may not everyone will be given that assignment. Same with dean visits. When we have the dean visiting an area of the country, we may send you an email saying, hey, get the word out to your people, and it may be all classes, but in a certain area that we want to get the word out to. The other thing, obviously, that we really want you to do is to communicate new programs when we have them up and running. One of the programs that we are currently working on is a new mentoring program. Our former alumni president, John Hafen, is leading this, and it's going to be sort of an intense mentoring. In other words, it's not just, gee, hi, how are you, how are things going kind of mentoring. It's going to be more of an apprenticeship, internship, hands-on, let's get in there and really do this and try to get this student some jobs kind of mentoring. So we will be giving you a little more information on that as the program develops, but look for that as well. And look for emails from myself and Roberta Lawlor. That I can't tell you what time of the month they're going to be coming. I hope that usually the first week of the month, but that's the idea. Okay, I am going to now turn my time over to Mark Wright. We want to talk about the class presidents getting someone on board that's a social media captain. Mark's going to tell you what we sort of envision for that, and if the powers that be can switch, go to Mark. I don't hear you, Mark.
Should be on.
I hear you now.
Can you hear Mark? We can't hear him.
Oh, no, I don't hear Mark. I thought that was Mark talking.
No, that's me.
Can you hear me now?
There you go.
Yes.
Okay, good. Well, it takes a second, I guess, to get everything synced up. I am working remote with a probably less than ideal internet connection, so I apologize if you hadn't heard me yet. But once again, my name is Mark Wright, and I am the chair of the Technology and Outreach Committee. We're grateful for your participation and hope what we present here today will be useful to everybody. One of the first things I wanted to do is, for those of you who may not have attended our previous training sessions, is I wanted to make sure that you were aware that there was an opportunity to review the training sessions that we have conducted previously. If you go to the website for the BYU Law School, you can go to the quick links under the BYU Alumni webpage, and you can see that there is Leader Resources, and under the Leader Resources tab at the website, looks like it's not rolling over. I just went to it this morning to make sure that it was still live, and it was working just fine. Okay, well, we'll move on. But the Leader Resources tab was working earlier today, and it has links to the earlier training sessions. The other thing I wanted to make you aware of, for those of you who have not yet found it, there are the opportunity to join the different social networking sites. If you haven't already joined, one of the things we'd like to get everybody to do is to get them on the social networking sites. And that's, of course, the Facebook and LinkedIn. And we'd like everybody to recognize that there is an opportunity there to be on Facebook or LinkedIn with your graduating class. We've established a group for each graduating class on LinkedIn and on Facebook, and all you have to do is come to this page here, and you can see that each group is represented, and then depending on which year you graduate, you can just simply click on the link for your year group and join the Facebook or the LinkedIn group. These are closed groups, so once you access the page and go to join, then a message will be sent to the moderators for the group, and you will be allowed to join. On the LinkedIn groups, you can see that here's what it looks like basically: an opportunity to communicate with the folks in your class on LinkedIn, or here's the Facebook. These are for my group, 1996, which is the year group I graduated. And you can see that it's kind of fun to be able to be in there. And what we'd like to do is make everybody aware of these, and we have had some good participation, but we like to have more participation. So one of the things that we would like for the class presidents to do is get involved with this and help us out by selecting what we would call a social media captain. And this will simply be the point of contact for each class year group that we can communicate with and work with to help them increase the presence of their class year group on these two social media sites. It could be the class president undertake that responsibility, but it certainly does not have to be. And we would encourage you to find a person in your class, whether that's yourself or another person, who is active in social media and who would like to take on this responsibility. I manage it as part of the year group for my class, and I kind of have fun. We have some interesting things going on with some people in our class, and I will post updates. Obviously, Dave Moore, who's now a professor at BYU, posts some things, and I've got links to his articles here, and it goes out. And some of the activities that we've had coming up, the reception, some of the crews with CLE, got some comments here. People are interested perhaps in participating in the law school alumni CLE at Sea, so that link is there on our Facebook page as well. I did a little brief review of the Washington weekend when I went out to get sworn into the Supreme Court. So these are some of the things that have been discussions with my class group, and other class groups have different discussions, but we found that there are some participants. I'd like to just review quickly some of the numbers of that for you. If you can see this on your screen, you'll see that here's the Facebook numbers. These are the numbers that show the people from each class that are actually participating or a member of the group for the year group, and it's listed here year by year. You can see that the more recent year groups have larger numbers, starting here with 123 showing up on Facebook for the class of 2014, and then down here towards the bottom you can see there are some groups that are relatively inactive. Some of the other groups you can see that, for example, my group here, we've got a different number on Facebook. We have 30 on Facebook and 21 on LinkedIn, and it's kind of interesting because we've noticed as these groups start to grow a little bit, there's a different crowd. The 30 people on Facebook are not the same people that are on LinkedIn, and the reason for that seems to be that some people are more interested in social interaction, which is more of a Facebook participation, and some people are more interested in the LinkedIn, which is more of a professional networking job connection kind of a thing on a more professional level. So depending on what your goals are with your class and what you'd like to do, it'd be an opportunity for everybody to get involved at the level that they feel is appropriate. But you can see that one of the biggest differences here in these different year groups is somebody's actively involved in trying to recruit and bring members in, which is what I've tried to do with my class. Some of these others, it's a little more organic because they're at the law school now, and they're obviously connected to the folks in their group in a different way. So that's one of the things we'd like the social media captain to do, is to undertake a campaign to try and recruit more members to the class to both Facebook and LinkedIn. And you might ask yourself, well, why do we really want to do this? Well, it's because there's a great deal of good information here, either professionally or in this case, as you can see, the law school reunion. We had our law school reunion last year, and it was very helpful to have a direct connection to some people who were actively involved. The law school does maintain email addresses for everybody, and to the extent that those email addresses are up to date, which oftentimes they are, but sometimes they're not in that database, you can reach out by email to these folks and get them information about things like the reunion. But if the folks are on Facebook and LinkedIn, the chances are that they're more actively involved and their information is more up to date, and you're more likely to get a faster communication link to those folks and more of them if they're involved in the social media sites. So we'd like to have the social media captain for each group recruit some more folks to their groups on Facebook and LinkedIn, and then use that as a tool in conjunction with the class presidents to disseminate information, to present opportunities for the class to stay connected. We'd like everybody to use the technology to stay connected to the law school and to each other as we build the community and continue to enhance our relationships and the other things that we forged at law school, and have an opportunity to work together and help each other in our careers and our lives as we progress. So that's kind of the overview of what we'd really like to have, and if you could report back to me on who the social media captain will be for each class group, I would appreciate that very much, because I will have some more targeted, focused instruction and information to present to them as they are identified, to help them with their efforts to increase the social media participation and remain connected to the law school and to each other. I think that's all I have, unless there was a specific question. I'll turn it back over at this time. We can switch to control.
Oh, great. Thank you so much, Mark. And again, I appreciate so much having having Mark on board and having somebody that gets this stuff, because I know that I'm not. And that's why, you know, you as class presidents, we don't expect you to do everything, and I can't emphasize that enough. But certainly each of you has someone in your class that is into the Facebook and the LinkedIn and the Twitters and the everything else, and the goal is to find that person and let them run with it, because our goal obviously is to have the dialogue and to make sure that the information from the law school that we want to get out to our alumni is getting out and getting spread in the best way possible. That's essentially, that's really our goal. We want to make sure that everybody understands what we're doing, understands that, you know, through our efforts we are supporting the law school and trying to make it a better law school, and quite frankly, and just keeping those relationships alive that we made while we were in